to climb on high.
Welcome to Summit Up, your one-stop shop for all things Denver Summit FC. With plenty of side hikes into the greater NWSL landscape, women's sports in Denver, and everything you should know about the culture and community of soccer at 5280.
Summit Up is part of the Bangarang soccer community, telling soccer stories a mile in the sky and straight on till morning. Check out our Colorado Rapids sibling show, Pidcast, and come play free pickup soccer with us all around the Denver metro area. Most importantly, we aim to be a collaborative human soccer show for community-minded soccer humans. So do your best to corner flag slide right into our DMs.
All right, let's kick it. I'm Kaylee, and with me today is Matt. And boy, do we have a surprise for all of you. Today's episode is a little bit different. We're not going peak to peak on all the news you need to know, but instead we are headed straight into our interview with none other than Bianca Velez, the VP of Ticket Sales and Service for Denver Summit FC.
There was so much to discuss around the new membership program for the team called Club 5280 and the modernization of the fan experience via Jump, the ticketing service platform that we couldn't wait to share. And we thought this would be the perfect time to give a full-time allotment to our conversation with Bianca to help all of you that are transitioning your season ticket deposits into your season ticket seats. And for those of you that have yet to get the email, if you're in line, stay in line. So I guess without further ado, our interview with Bianca Velez.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Summit Up. Today, we are joined by Bianca Velez, the Vice President of Ticket Sales and Services for Denver Summit FC. Bianca shares how she's shaping the fan experience from the ground up while we chat about her journey, leadership, and what being part of this new chapter in Denver soccer means to her. Welcome, Bianca.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
So, Bianca, we'll start off kind of how we always do. Tell the listeners who you are outside of Denver Summit FC in your own words.
Oh gosh, I should have asked for these questions beforehand. On outside of Denver Summit FC, I mean, I've really am so head first, like head down into everything we're building right now because it's something I'm so proud of and really excited about. But outside of that, I have a big, beautiful friend group here in Denver. So I spend a lot of time with them, with my girlfriends. And other than that, I pride myself on being a runner. So just got done running my third marathon. And,
Wow.
yeah. So that
Which
was
one
awesome.
was it?
I just ran in Berlin 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
So it was,
That's
yeah,
incredible.
yeah, it was really cool. It was awesome. But like my marathon training and like running in general just helps me, stay focused and kind of keep a routine, which is really nice.
Are
That's
you
awesome.
in any of the run clubs in Denver? You want to shout them out?
I do. I've checked out a couple of them. Denver Run Club though. Those are some guys over there that I know that started that. So
All right.
good stuff over there.
Well, my partner Allie is in Colorado Harriers, so I'm going to start a
nice.
beef between you guys.
Oh no, I don't want to be a part of that. Yeah, I didn't. I have no claim. I'm not starting. I'm not a part of these things.
You heard it here
Okay,
first.
You'll learn very quickly. Matt is really excited to start the fan rivalries and the fan beef, and it really just translates into all aspects of his life, and it's amazing.
Well, I
and
can
hilarious.
get behind some like rivalries with
Right.
other teams. Let's do that. Let's make it fun.
Let's leave the personal out of it for now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, onto your
100%.
career. I've seen how impressive your career has been in sales and fan engagement. What first drew you to this side of the sports industry?
Yeah, so right out of college, it's crazy, but I always knew I wanted to work in sports. Sports played such a big role in my life growing up, and I always thought I was going to work for a baseball team. I don't know, it was how I connected with my dad when I was younger, so I always had just such fond memories with baseball, but thank goodness I didn't do that because I would be working a ton more games, which would be way too much. But right out of college, I had this great opportunity to do an internship with Indy 11, a small USL club in Indianapolis. And I got to be a part of that journey, like on the community relations side of things. and I just fell in love with the sport in general, but especially just witnessing things from the community side of just, learning really the impact that sports have, especially on the youth level, and how that just translates as we all grow up, was something that, got me excited. And my journey kind of evolved into ticket sales because I am just a little competitive. So it just, made sense, and, was really excited to be able to help grow the business in that realm, but still be able to be tied into the community aspect, especially like talk about ticket sales. It's about the fan. So it all kind of goes hand in hand with one another.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool about Indy 11. So how far into their inception point did you join them for this internship?
So I was there from 2018, or gosh, when did I? No, 2016 to 2018. So I was there 2 years after they started as a club. And then, I oversaw community relations, so how we were working with nonprofits. I was there for a couple of you know, we were trying to do the MLS bid, so got to be a part of that in those early years as well, which was really cool. And, seeing some of that stuff in a way helps, and knowing what we're going through now, and, with the process of trying to get a stadium and trying to get city council approval. So I've kind of sat in on some of this stuff before. So, it was an awesome experience then, but even better now, with a lot more legs and traction behind it.
Well, I'm happy that you've chosen soccer, but I do think if you want to go the baseball route, Jen probably has some contacts she could give you.
Yeah, I'm not leaving. I'm here for a while.
She's set. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
ready to
yeah.
be here.
I'm here for a long time.
All right, so I want to just jump into the more recent part of your career. I was at Pindustry for the Club 5280 event. I was blown away by the event on whole, how much it just embraced the aesthetic of families coming and just like recreating together under a combined badge or banner of Denver Summit
Yeah.
FC. But I really also I thought it was so cool that you guys had the temporary stadium model there, and kind of the seats that you could sit in
Yeah.
for the photo opportunity. What was the planning process like for that, and how did you measure the success of it?
Yeah, I think the whole thing when it comes to Club 5280 is about being a membership program for anybody and everybody. It was actually the first time I had a call with Jen and was talking about this opportunity. I was like, we really need to do a membership program. We need to do something a little bit differently, do something differently than other teams, one in the market, but even kind of challenging what other teams do around the country. So I think the event stems from what we want 5280, Club 5280 to really be about. And that's about creating a unique fan experience and bringing more people under our umbrella, and, really look at unique ways for people to engage with the club, and for us to also celebrate our fan and bring our fans together to create more of a community aspect. So Pindustry was really the perfect venue for that. Our ultimate goals were we wanted to educate the fans on what the Centennial Stadium experience was going to look like. We wanted to bring people together so fans are starting to get to know each other and start creating those connections. We wanted fans to obviously meet Nick Cushings and have that opportunity to engage with him and start to learn about his vision for the club, and just get people excited again before we dive into our season ticket conversion process. So we said that was a very successful event. We wanted to have a couple thousand people out there, again, to really see some of these stadium aspects, especially. So yeah, I mean, from our end, it was very successful. It was amazing to see, especially so many families come out. And I think that was the other great thing about Pindustry. It kind of checked all the boxes. We got to have the items, the games for the family. We did some early activations for that as well for the kiddos, and having, the face painter, the balloon twister, is what they call themselves. I don't know, just the balloon artist. I don't know, new name.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Our group will laugh about that one, but we did all the kid elements because family is going to be a big part of who we are and who our fans are. But then obviously that space also welcomes itself to anybody and everybody else. and the way that it's set up and all the activities that it offers. So again, I think it was such an important, deciding on the location was important for us, and really what this event was going to look like and how it was going to help take care of our fans. And, we got that feedback after that event from people. And, I remember one message that specifically hit home that we got on Instagram, but it was someone, going out of their way to tell us how well done they thought the event was because it had something for anybody and everybody. And that's what's important for us when we're talking about, especially Club 5280, but even as we're talking about as how we will continue to develop as a club.
I love that kid aspect that you mentioned. I will say, even like for me personally, like so much of soccer, what I enjoy about it is that feeling of being a kid again, that like childlike exuberance and
Yeah.
optimism. And then just to speak to the Pinistry event, Dwayne, who was the MC for the event, he and I both had kid moments because he found pinball, I found skee ball, and then we
Yeah.
both went and bowled. So it was like it was the perfect. Uh,
It's so cool. Like that space is amazing. So shout out to Pindustry because they really have something special over there. And it's cool for us because it's going to be by the temporary stadium. So hopeful that we'll continue that relationship with them and see how that expands.
some feedback that I really like that I got about Club 5280 is from all the folks that either lived in Denver and have moved away or are moving back. Club 5280 is providing a bridge for them to still be involved, to still feel part of the inception of this
Yeah.
project. So kudos to that.
Yeah. And that's the goal. I think, it's a very European model with these memberships. It stems from I became a Wolverhampton Wanderers member years ago. It was first to get access to some of their, top tier matches when I was traveling out there. But then it became more about the fan experience that they were still able to create for me as someone who does not live in Wolverhampton, England. So it's definitely this element of bridging the gap between fans and making them still feel connected.
Nice.
That's
Well,
really cool.
let's get into the temporary stadium, the Centennial Stadium. I like that language way
Yes.
more better than temporary stadium.
Yes. No
So
more temporary. We have a
yeah,
name. It's Centennial now. Yeah.
yeah. So let's talk about the planning process for the Centennial Stadium. Uh, how helpful was it to make that model, and what went into kind of the specific zonal designations? How did you kind of figure out how you wanted the flow of the
Yeah.
stadium to go?
Yeah. I mean, for me, being a part of the stadium pieces for both Centennial and Santa Fe Yards has been one of the coolest things. And in the step in my career and being able to actually provide feedback. I think, I have a lot of like lived experience of being in so many stadiums across the country and understanding what fans want, what works well. So it's been awesome, our GM, Jordan Akey, being able to give him feedback and be, again, part of these conversations has been awesome. But, there's been a lot that we've learned in this process. One, there's factors of just what that space allows us to do. And then again, just knowing what works best from a stadium operations, component as well. So um, when it comes to the model, that truly, it's a pretty good reflection of what the space is going to look like. With it being a temporary stadium, 75% of it's going to get taken down after a couple years, and the west side will really stay long term for the Cherry Creek School District, which is awesome. But I wouldn't say we did anything like too crazy and unique in how we determine the sections or anything like that. It's pretty standard of stadiums running north to south and knowing our best seats are going to be located on the west sideline. So that is where we have some of our premium options with the suites in our club space. And then, just really kind of creating cool, some more unique seating options around the stadium with some field side seats, some loge tables. But yeah, again, the model is a good reflection, obviously not to like the nitty gritty details of like the seats. But it did show what we were trying to convey of how it is going to be more of like that module setup in this space.
Yeah, I heard quite a few people make the Zoolander joke of how are they going to fit 12,000 people in this stadium?
Yeah, it was really cool. You mentioned the seats earlier. We did bring in those 6 seats that will be the actual seats in the new stadium. And there was a couple people who were like, are the seats really gonna be this far spaced apart?" And I was like, "No, we were trying to, like, pack the house, we want as many people to come and experience the stadium as possible." And if we did that kind of spacing, it was like, I don't know, 6, 8 inches apart,
Yeah.
then we wouldn't be able to get as many people in the stadium as we want.
You're like, this is a photo op with some
Yeah.
specifications. Let's use our imagination here.
Yeah. But I get it. I mean, people I love when
People are
people ask me
inquisitive. They want to
questions.
know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
ask the questions. We'll give you the answers, but,
Right.
no, we're really excited about still what the space is gonna be for our fans for the next couple years.
Well, building a fan base for a new club is such a unique challenge and one that it seems like you have great experience in. How do you balance, though, the data driven side of sales
Yep.
and the human side of fan connection? How do those overlap? What is your take us through kind of what either your mindset through all of that is or what your day to day and how that all balances through?
Yeah, so I'm a big data nerd. I love talking about it and, we're developing some of these pieces out as a club right now, but, um those 2 things kinda go hand in hand, like, I'm
Mhm.
also very much like an empath, like, love connecting with the fan. I see all of our emails that fans send in every day, they get filtered through my inbox because it's so important to, like, know what our fans want from us and what our fans are saying right now. Um, but those 2 things, again, are so connected, and it might not make sense for, people who aren't living in this in the day to day. But I would say like the data perspective and how we're viewing it right now, we don't have a lot. Like I said, we're kind of building this piece out, but the data that we are looking about, especially when we talk about ticket sales, is
Mhm.
what are people paying for tickets in the market? What are we seeing across the NWSL as far as trends? But then we did a lot of like fan surveying too, a couple months back, asking fans from a ticket sales package, what benefits are important to fans? Like what do fans want this club to represent? So some of this stuff, like when we talk about holistically looking at a ticket sales package, like yes, there's the pricing component and there are elements of it that are data driven. But there's pieces of it that are always going to be that human connection and making sure those things go hand in hand is the biggest thing. What I'll put a bow on that one is it's the perceived value that's really important for the fan, and that's where that biggest connection is. It's we're charging this much for season tickets, but does that price actually match the value of what fans are looking to get out of it? So that's something
Mhm.
that I'm constantly evaluating in anything that we will create as a club is asking the fan, does this make sense? You know,
Mhm.
it's easy for us as a new club because of the demand to go out and really jack up ticket pricing if we wanted to and
Mhm.
raise the bar in that way, but from a fan value perspective that doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
And making sure we're giving the fans obviously what they want and taking care of the people who have been with us from day one. So our goal
Yeah.
is to again bring as many people in and not alienate anyone in our fan base.
That's really cool. When you said you were a data nerd, I was like, this is my vibe.
Yes.
This is I get
Yeah. Yeah,
it. These are the conversations I love.
yeah, no, I'm so excited. We're, in the works of hiring a business intelligence
Yeah.
director, and that's someone I will work very close with to make sure that we're again evaluating a lot of the trends, looking at like the customer value
Yeah.
as a whole. Because in year 3, if we lose a season ticket holder, you're not just losing it from the ticket sales revenue standpoint. You're losing out on F&B in the stadium. You're losing out on merch. Like there's a
Mhm.
lot of different factors, and that's why data is so important in
Yep.
ticket sales.
Yeah,
I can
absolutely.
nerd out about that all day, so
We
yeah.
can sidebar on that because I also
Yeah,
love talking about that kind of stuff.
Well, let's nerd out on something else real quick. Since we talked about the data driven side and trends, you've kind of bucked trends a little bit in partnering with Jump, kind of a lesser
yeah,
known organization in the ticketing space. Uh, Can you speak to that platform, what it offers, and why you went that route?
Yeah, we are so excited about this partnership with Jump. They've been such a great partner, especially again as we kicked off this season ticket, on sale process. I think Jump, the way that they position themselves is really a tech platform that supports ticketing. So they're doing a lot more for us behind the scenes outside of just ticket sales, which is a really unique aspect for that group. But I think when it comes to Jump as well, they're they're a tech company. They want to make things easy for the fan. They want the fan experience to just be simplified. And also on the back end, for us who are dealing with the process too, like they want it to be easy for us. So, you know, some of the older ticketing platforms, they just, they make it a little bit complicated. They also feels like there's a lot of ways of monopoly in the space. And I think for us and who we want to be as a club, it's again taking care of our fans, challenging things a little bit and trying to do things differently. And I think that marries well with Jump and their vision and who they're trying to grow to as an organization. So, they have a couple teams. We'll be team number 4 for them. But again, they've been so great. And as we're going through this on sale process, from fans going through and utilizing the system from the start, they're already saying how easy it's been, how this process is just simplified for them. So that again lends to why we went with them. We want that fan experience to be simple and be streamlined.
Well,
and it's in some extent having a smaller vendor gives you more treatment that is specialized to you. They have more time to spend on you.
Yeah. No, they're definitely giving us all the love and dedication. So shout out to them because I do bug them probably every hour with with something of like, hey, can we do this? Like,
Yeah,
but
a
it's
good
been really
vendor
cool.
relationship makes all the difference, though.
No, it's been awesome. We're growing but so are they. So we're able to also use all of our experience from the ticketing side to help, give them feedback and grow their platform as well. So I know Jump is definitely a group that I believe will be long term in the ticketing game and definitely changing that landscape.
That's awesome.
has there been any discussion, or do you think there'd be any availability with Summit and with Jump for a print inaugural ticket for that first match, a
Ooh, I
souvenir
like
ticket?
that.
It is something we are considering when we are talking about our home opener for next year. So, yeah,
I've got some merch
we'll
ideas
see
for
what
that.
we can do.
We can
Yeah,
chat. Yeah.
I'm gonna start picking. I'm gonna start picking out frames for it.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No,
Uh,
but we're it's when we talk about next season in general, yeah, we want to make sure that there are commemorative things that we're giving to fans because it is a big moment, and we do want this to be something that people remember.
Absolutely. Well, and we know that the excitement of the team will likely exceed the supply. What can you kind of share about ticketing schemes outside of season tickets, group sales, resale platforms? Like, what does that look like, and how are you planning for things like that?
Yeah, a majority of our stadium is going to be season ticket holders. But again, we want to bring new fans into the stadium. We want to let people experience the match. So we will have group experiences. So we'll be selling group tickets. So groups of 10 or more. So we have 2 new business account executives on our ticket sales team. So, they're busy already contacting really they're focusing right now on the youth soccer community and the school community. Again,
Mm-hmm.
but community being this kind of like I would say like what we're orbiting around is why we're targeting those kind of groups first. But yeah, we'll do some campaigns here for people to be able to express their interest in group tickets, and then we'll of course have single game tickets available as well to ensure that we are bringing in new fans and letting individuals experience matches. Of course, when it makes sense for them. Season tickets doesn't make sense for everyone. It's a bigger commitment in coming out to all 15 matches, but we do love all of our season ticket holders who make that commitment with us.
Talking to 2 of them right now.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
15.
where did you guys get your seats? Yeah.
What 113?
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Because I
can't
know
remember
Hallie's
off the
in
top of my head
110.
right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It'll be 15 plus matches because we're winning the whole thing first season. So
Obviously.
Ooh,
That's
that
right.
is a great point. Yeah.
getting our money's worth.
Yes. No, for sure. I love that.
So, is there a strategy yet on how folks can expect to move from the Centennial Stadium to the Santa Fe Yard Stadium in year 3 of their season ticket holdings?
Yeah, I think, we're always thinking long term of how we're getting to Santa Fe Yards. So it'll be, I would say, a similar process right now to the season ticket conversion process. The fans who are with us now will have the first access to the seats in the stadium. So um, that specific process obviously still has works, but we can guarantee everyone who's with us as season ticket holders, on day one next year, will have the first right of, seat selection in that new stadium.
Is there going to be a dedicated section for away fans?
So in the Temp Stadium right now, there is no dedicated section for away fans. We'll work with NWSL teams kind of one off. If there's interest, we will look at what that, what that might be. I would say we have so many fans who we want to get at the stadium who are in market that we feel like it's
Right.
just best to take care of those individuals first. So I would say that's our biggest priority.
Yeah.
But, we obviously want to maintain our relationships with the clubs around. And it is, having worked for soccer clubs for 10 years, like it is sometimes fun having, some of those away fans in the stadium to really kind of drive up the competition. And I feel like it
Yeah.
makes the supporters even louder, makes the rest of the
Yeah.
stadium louder. But yeah, we haven't, exactly mapped that out.
Sure.
Waiting really to hear some interest from the other clubs and seeing if that's something they want to do.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I don't know if we want Casey Current fans or, Utah fans in the stadium.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
there'll be a designated 3 parking spaces and a complimentary 20-inch Vizio TV to watch the match on. That's the away section.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Matt's been working on that.
We'll put them out on the fields. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The soccer field's right across the stadium. We'll make a nice little spot.
Yeah, putting the away in the away section.
Yeah.
Really. All right, so speaking of designated sections, and to put you on the spot, when we were outside the zoning hearing on Wednesday, the
Yes.
group on hold, we got hushed because we were too loud. You
Yeah.
said that you were Puerto Rican, and so loudness is just part of the package. So I wanted to ask if there's a vision in the ticketing and stadium process that is designed to kind of assure and spotlight that sort of cultural vibrancy that is such an asset to sporting matches.
Yeah. So are you talking about the supporters or just in general? Like,
I'm talking about like Puerto Rican descent cultural
yeah, of course.
activations.
Yeah. Well, my team will laugh because I am the loudest person definitely in our office always. So everyone does know that. But yeah, I mean, I think one of the beautiful things of the game is again, one, it's the world sport and how it brings all the cultures, and people together. That's something that, I really loved about my time in Chicago. Chicago is such a crazy diverse city. And being able to work across different ethnic groups and doing like bigger heritage nights at the stadium is something that's deeply important to me. So yeah, we'll work through what that looks like for us, but we definitely want to bring different communities into the space, make sure people know that soccer and especially our stadium is a space again that everyone's welcome, but not just welcomed. We want to be able to celebrate that because that is such a beautiful part of the game and it makes the sport what it is.
And
So
then
yes, there will be loud Puerto Ricans there. It might be
The
my
short
family,
answer.
but yeah.
The short answer is there'll be at least
Yeah.
be one. We know that.
the Velez section will be in 106. Like,
I love that. A question that we discussed with Councilwoman Alvidrez with 15,000 seat deposits now and a Club 5280 wait list in the second highest season ticket pricing in the NWSL. How is Summit working with the surrounding neighborhoods and communities to kind of assure access across the board?
For sure. I think so we're around the third highest pricing, and I think one thing that was important for us was looking at the market too and comparing pricing there and making sure.
Sure.
Um so I will say when it comes to the get-in price, we made sure that the get-in price was very affordable for fans. We will see that still with our group tickets and our single game tickets. Again, having access and allowing, giving that access, making sure people are able to afford the ticket,
Hmm.
is something that was very important to our group. So, we will continue to see that as we, scale into Santa Fe yards, but having the affordable access is something, me and Jen talked about, this group has talked about making sure, families can afford to attend matches at our stadium.
That's
Well,
awesome.
kind of in the same vein that you guys squared away 114 for the 14ers, we'd love to see some sort of concession in 107 or some 7 for the District 7 residents to make sure that they're in watching soccer played in their neighborhoods.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea. Yeah, and I will say too, like, we have tickets allocated for community partners. So our community impact team will oversee that. But as part of our relationship with Cherry Creek School District, we are donating tickets to them every match, but we will also take care of our other community groups. So that will always be a part of who we are, in making sure that we do have tickets, one that we are providing to fans who are, coming from lower income households. So that is a part of that programming. But again, making sure the ticket price is affordable for families to still get in the door with us.
Now, before we get into kind of the sentimental end of interview questions,
Yeah.
I think this would probably be a great time for those of us that have gone through the season ticket deposit transition process,
Yeah.
those waiting to get their emails. Do you just want to walk us through what that process looks like? Kind of give people a guide to it.
Of course, yeah. So, this is great because we're obviously in the thick of it right now. So we're contacting individuals in the order in which they place their deposits. I will say on the first day that this team offered deposits, there was thousands of people
Oof.
who bought that first day. So, we are just hitting the mark on like finishing up that first group. So, my biggest thing for fans is again, we're contacting people in the order in which deposits are placed, but just look out for your email. We are sending a 24 hours out email to let people know, hey, in 24 hours, you will get access to be able to service yourself online. So people can actually go online and just take care of their tickets themselves. It's a
Hmm.
very simple process. But if anyone needs help throughout that, they can call into our office, and our account executives, who are awesome, are ready to help people. They're also calling people as well throughout this, to make sure people are aware they're not missing these emails. So we are giving everyone a ton of touch points to make sure, again, especially these people who put down their deposit early on, know that this process is happening, because we want to make sure everyone's getting taken care of. So yeah, so those are the big things. Keep an eye out on your email. Our call should be coming in as Denver Summit FC, when we are giving everyone a ring as well. So just be on the lookout for those two things. But this is going to be, a bit of a process. We we don't want to rush this because we want to
Hmm.
make sure we're not just skipping over people and getting to the point where some people aren't getting access to seats. So we are slow rolling it. So we appreciate everyone who's been reaching out to us. We've heard it's been so positive. But people are like, when am I like when are you guys gonna call me? Which is so cool. And we're like, I know we want to call you, but like we're going in this order. So yeah, so we're just asking for people to kind of give us a little, provide us with a little patience and just understand, we want to take care of people. So we're working through it at that steady rate to ensure that we're able to accomplish that.
I
That's
will
really
say,
cool.
just from the use case, kudos to you and to Jump. I'm an Alamo season pass
Hmm.
holder, so like
Same.
I just open their app and I pick my movie ticket, and I was like,
Yep.
this is the exact same experience.
Yes.
I'm
You're
just
like, I've
Yeah.
done this
opening,
before.
yeah, I'm opening the app, I'm picking my season ticket. It just felt so intuitive and seamless.
Exactly. And that's again why we wanted to go with Jump. It was just it's an easier process, and it really takes care of the fans. And so many fans want to be able to have kind of the power in their hands, and that's what Jump's allowed. And then our team is really here in that support function and to help, develop relationships with the fans at the end of the day too.
Now, we'll get into kind of our more philosophical questions. What are you most excited for as the first season approaches?
Um, I'm so excited for that first match. I think, you know, I worked in Colorado before for another team here. I've as a rep on the phones, God, 8 years ago, hearing from fans then how they wanted a women's team in Colorado, in Denver. And then, yeah, just hearing that for the 5 years I was there, and then being a part of this project from the beginning. Um, I'm so excited for people to just really get that. I'm really excited for the fans who have been asking for this for a long time because they're women's soccer fans, because what it means to their family, what it means to their kids to be able to have a women's team in town. I'm excited just to see how much this means to people, and I think we get that experience on the ticket sale side of how we engage with fans, which is always so fun, and why I do what I do is really just to understand the impact of what these moments mean for individuals, what it means for families, what it means for businesses. So I'm really excited to kind of get to that day one, and see all of our fans like at our stadium, and being a part of this experience that we always say sports is bigger than ourselves, but it's true, and how it brings people together.
I mean, your heart, your excitement, and your skill set, like, all combined with this, it makes complete sense why you're in this role. And especially at such an exciting time for the NWSL, women's sports. But how does it feel specifically knowing that you get to shape the fan experience,
Yeah.
like, from the ground up, your thoughts, your ideas, your opinions, and, like, what does that feel like for you to be able to see that?
Yeah. I think people probably think it's this heavy weight. Um, but it's for me, it's not. I think um, I've always being a part of the fan experience and making sure we understand our fans is something that I feel like I put for first. Kind of first and foremost in front of me and myself, and as we're looking at everything we're creating, again, living here in Denver, like this community just means so much to me. So, and to so many people in our office, most people are from Colorado, have lived in Denver for a long time. So we understand the community, and we want to just do right by the community. And I think, for me too, as a woman and as a woman athlete growing up, like I want to make sure that, the community, these young girls, really have an opportunity to have a positive experience in our stadium, in our space. So, yeah, I mean, it means so much. It's definitely a big responsibility, in making sure our fans feel heard, that this team and what we create really represents the community. But I think we are always going to do a good job at it, because we know kind of what our North Star is in going back
Mhm.
to, and we do have a great group, and we'll do things unique, to make sure that we're always keeping the fan at the forefront. We've talked about doing a season ticket member council. We'll continue to survey fans and bring fans along for the journey as we are creating new things for the first time. So a lot of this stuff, sure falls on us, but it is a representation of what we're hearing from fans and who they want this club and this team to be.
That's really cool. When you look back in, 3, 4 years, what do you hope that they'll say, them being the fans, about these early years for Denver Summit?
Yeah. I hope people just look back at the excitement. I hope people know, we're obviously we'll be transitioning from one stadium to the next. But I hope they see it as, again, this fan first experience, that they feel like they were a part of this journey, and that they were just, yeah, that it just felt like a cohesive opportunity with Club 5280 to stay engaged with the club and be a part of this brand in a way that they, that's different than other teams in the market, other teams in the NWSL. But yeah, I just hope people, one, look back fondly, give us grace if there's any stumbles along the way, but also know that, again, they're our North Star, and we want to make sure people feel included in that journey. 3 to 5 years from now, gosh, that's so crazy. That's so crazy to even think about. Every week in the office right now feels like a year in itself, with everything that everything we're accomplishing and everything that we are getting done, and how quickly this project's moving. So that's like 30 years in my mind right now. I'm like, that's crazy.
I mean, hey, your decades of legacy. What are you expecting? 3 years.
100%.
Well, then, if that was a hard question, I'm going to make one even harder. Because Summit will have no shortage of ticket holders, it's hard to use. You can use the season deposits as a measure of success, but I mean, you've already blown that out of the water. So I want to go a little bit more forward thinking to when Santa Fe Yards has kicked off. As you know, the Broncos will be moving to Burnham Yards, so we're going to have much of our sports contingent right along the Platte River. What do you look for or look toward as Summit's role in establishing this legacy of accessible and vibrant Denver sports scene right here in the heart of the city?
Yeah. I mean, one, how cool is that? I think it's going to be so awesome. Our stadium location, having the Broncos nearby, understanding where we are in relation to Ball Arena and Coors Field. Again, having been in this market and hearing what fans want to say or have to say, like being in the heart of Denver really changes, how the fans engage with us. But it's something that's really important to the fan, that we are downtown or more downtown in that space. And I think it's going to be really cool and unique in how our space flows differently than the other stadiums, in how the landscape around it is going to be, and how that all, I'm trying not to say anything, but and how our stadium will be different than the other spaces, and how fans, Matt, to your point, like how they access that space and how they engage with it, and what that will really look like on a 365, even outside of match days.
I mean, that's a great point that you brought up. I was fortunate to go to that District 7 town hall that you hosted in conjunction that showed a lot of the plans for Santa Fe Yards and how you want to activate that space. One of the parts I was particularly blown away with, I was talking to OV Consulting, who's doing a lot of the transportation stuff, is kind of the granular aspects of thinking about something such as, this is a women's team. We plan stadiums based on pedestrian access, but we're planning this to be pedestrian access with much more stroller capacity because of how much more family centric we think this experience is going to be. And I was really touched by that. Yeah.
No, again, it's just going to be, again, challenging what's been done in other stadiums, and this is a really important project. This is the second ever in the world, women's specific stadium. So we are gonna, we're catering to a little bit of a different crowd in some ways, but we want it to be a space still that's for everyone, and a space that's, recognizable. It's different, and really shows that impact in the design of it.
And then I have one last super serious question before
Kaylee
puts a bow on it.
Yeah.
Do you know all of the words to Miley Cyrus's The Climb, or would you like to submit a different end of game victory song?
I think that is a great song. We've had some conversations, but I do know, put it on, play it. I know.
Okay, right now. Shit. How do I like Spotify?
I don't think you want to hear me sing, but that doesn't mean I don't know the words.
Plot twist, this is now the karaoke section of the episode. I hope you brought your mic.
No, I think, but to that point, Matt, like if fans have ideas for for what these songs could be. Like we're you know, we want to hear it. We want to hear what people have to
Yeah.
say of what would be impactful in our, you know, game day experience from the fans. So if anyone, I like The Climb. It would be amazing. Can you imagine having Miley Cyrus at
Could she perform the
like perform
opening
at Santa Fe
at the
Yards one
opening
day?
game? I mean, Miley, come on.
That would be crazy. But I was even thinking like her actually having a concert at Santa Fe Yards one day.
That'd
Like
be so sick.
that'd be so crazy.
Yeah.
I think we would
Well,
all. I would die.
I mean, Bianca, thank you so much for hopping on here today. This has been such a fun and natural, inquisitive conversation. These are the kind of conversations that we are just excited to share, not just with the fans, but with all elements of people who love Denver Summit FC. So I think it's that's why we do what we do, to share your stories, to share behind the scenes, to share the players' stories. So we're just really excited and thankful to have you on here. And if fans want to get in touch with you or they want to provide feedback on The Climb, other songs, anything regarding the fan experience, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah. So, like I said, I look at all of our emails that come in from our fans every day. So those come to ticketing@denversummitfc.com. So we'll see them if they're sending them through there. So thank you guys so much for having me on. You know, really appreciate being able to talk about the club that I love so much, and you know, being able to build this. So yeah. Just appreciate you guys, you know, also putting this platform, having this platform and bringing our people in, you know, the players and whoever else who loves Denver Summit, and being able to kind of shine a light on what we're working towards.
Awesome.
Thank you again
Well,
for the time.
Yeah.
yes. You guys
Thanks,
heard it here first. You've got Bianca, Kaylee, and Matt. Thanks, everyone.
Just want to once again thank everyone for listening, and thank you, Bianca Velez, for taking the time out of her busy schedule, as everyone doing the ticketing right now knows, to talk with us about that process. Be sure to tune in next week, where we have a featured interview with none other than Lourdes Bosch. Kaylee, any final thoughts?
Just a fantastic episode with Bianca. Loved that conversation. And even more so, looking forward to everyone hearing a conversation with Lourdes. She's so excited and very fiery for the new season.
As always, our intro-outro music is Climb On, the late night radio remix by local Denverite Matty O'Neill. As always, let's end with a sum it up. This is when you say sum it up.
No. Matt. Sum it up.
See you at the summit, Kaylee.
Please don't be mean to me. You have all the control in editing.
All right, we're out.
Bye.